In this slide, we're focusing on the At-Risk Construction Manager, also known as CM At-Risk. This delivery method is distinct because the construction manager takes on more responsibility compared to other CM roles. First, let's talk about the relationships involved. The construction manager has a direct relationship with both the owner and the subcontractors. The owner will have two separate contracts, one with the designer and one with the construction manager. Unlike in traditional construction delivery methods, the CM at-risk is involved early in the design phase, providing valuable input on cost, scheduling, and constructability. This early involvement helps to identify potential issues and optimize the design, ensuring efficiency and cost effectiveness. Next, let's consider the roles and responsibilities. The construction management firm acts as both a consultant during the design phase and as a general contractor during the construction phase. Although they provide management tools and are deeply involved in the project, they are not responsible for the design itself. That responsibility remains with the designer. However, they do take on full responsibility for the construction, managing the project to meet the agreed upon schedule and budget. Estimating is another critical component of the CM at-risk role. Initially, during the conceptual and schematic design phases, the CM firm might provide high-level estimates, such as conceptual estimates and schematic estimates. As the design progresses, CM will develop more detailed estimates, ensuring that the project remains within budget. Let's discuss the roles of a construction manager under the at-risk CM delivery method and how this role integrates across the different phases of a project. In the at-risk CM method, the construction manager has dual responsibilities. Early in the project, they act as a consultant, providing expertise on constructability and construction costs. This consulting role starts in the pre-project planning phase, where the CM helps the client by offering valuable insights into how the project can be designed and built efficiently. As the project progresses into the design phase, the CM continues to provide input, assisting with conceptual and schematic estimates that guide the project's development. Their involvement during this stage ensures that the design remains feasible within the project's budget and schedule constraints. Once the project moves into the construction phase, the CM transitions into the role of the general contractor. At this point, they take on full responsibility for the construction process, including managing subcontractors, ensuring quality control, and maintaining the project timeline. This shift in roles is critical because it allows for a smooth transition from planning to execution, with the CM leveraging their detailed knowledge of the project to lead the construction effort effectively. During the startup and occupancy phases, the CM remains actively involved, ensuring that the project is completed according to the client's specifications and that any issues that arise during these final stages are addressed promptly. Let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the at-risk CM delivery method from the owner's perspective. We'll begin with the advantages. The CM gets involved early in the project, starting in the pre-project planning phase. This early participation allows the CM to provide valuable input on constructability and costs throughout the design phase, which leads to a more efficient design and construction process. Another advantage is that the at-risk CM method offers the owner a single point of responsibility. By taking on the role of general contractor during the construction and startup phases, the CM reduces the risk of conflicts between the designer and contractor, making project management simpler for the owner. This method also allows for the establishment of a guaranteed maximum price, GMP, early in the process. This gives the owner greater control over the budget and reduces the risk of cost overruns. Additionally, this approach can expedite project delivery. The CM's early involvement allows planning and procurement activities to begin even while the design is still being finalized, which can shorten the overall project timeline. However, it's important to consider the disadvantages as well. The owner might face higher costs. Because the CM assumes the risk for cost overruns, they may include additional contingencies or conservative estimates in the GMP, leading to higher initial costs compared to other delivery methods. The at-risk CM method often involves more complex contracts. The contract structure must clearly outline the responsibilities and risks at different project phases, which can lead to longer negotiation times and require more legal oversight. Although the CM is involved early, their influence on the design might be limited. Typically, the owner contracts the architect separately, which could lead to conflicts or misalignment between the design and construction teams. Finally, since the CM is guaranteed the construction contract, there may be less incentive for them to innovate or aggressively pursue cost-saving measures after the GMP is set, potentially leading to lower overall project efficiency. When comparing different construction management, CM delivery methods, it's essential to understand the roles, responsibilities, and the number of contracts involved for each method. In the agency CM method, the owner typically has 3 contracts, including those with the CM, the general contractor, and possibly other key consultants. In contrast, the multiple prime method involves the owner holding more than 3 contracts with different specialty contractors, which increases the owner's management responsibilities. The at-risk CM method simplifies this by having the owner maintain 2 main contracts, one with the CM company and another with the architect or designer. Regarding responsibility in construction, the agency CM method relies on the general contractor to take charge of the construction work, while the CM provides advice and management without direct control over the construction. In the multiple prime method, specialty contractors are responsible for managing their specific scopes of work, with the CM playing an advisory role. In the at-risk CM method, the CM company itself is responsible for conducting the construction work, placing more direct responsibility on the CM. The CM's responsibilities also vary across these methods. In the agency CM method, the CM advises the owner throughout the design and construction process and helps the owner select a general contractor, but does not directly control construction activities. In the multiple prime method, the CM similarly advises the owner on design and construction and assists in selecting specialty contractors, but does not oversee construction directly. In the at-risk CM method, the CM is responsible not only for advising the owner on design, but also for conducting the construction work, which means the CM assumes a higher level of responsibility and risk compared to the other methods. These distinctions are crucial for understanding which CM delivery method might be most appropriate, depending on the specific needs and complexities of a project. The choice of delivery method affects how responsibilities are distributed, the level of control and risk assumed by the CM, and the owner's involvement in managing contracts. We'll be delving into a comparison of various project delivery methods. Let's dive into this critical comparison to see which method best suits different project scenarios. This slide will help you understand the key differences and when to apply each method. We'll examine the design bid build, DBB, design build, DB, and various CM methods, including agency CM, multiple primes, and at-risk CM. Starting with the number of contracts, in design bid build, the owner typically executes 2 contracts, one with the designer and one with the contractor. In contrast, design build consolidates this into a single contract with a design build company. Agency CM requires the owner to handle 3 contracts: designer, contractor, and construction manager. Multiple primes involve executing many contracts directly with multiple specialty contractors. At-risk CM typically involves 2 contracts, one with the designer and one with the CM, who acts as both a consultant and a general contractor. Next, consider the timing of the contractor's involvement. In the DBB method, the contractor is brought in after the design is fully completed. However, in design build and the various CM methods, the contractor or CM gets involved early, often at the beginning or even before the design phase starts. This early involvement can be crucial for ensuring that the project stays on schedule and within budget. When it comes to overlapping design and construction phases, DBB doesn't allow for any overlap, leading to a sequential process. Design build allows for significant overlap, which can accelerate the project timeline. However, in agency CM and multiple primes, there's typically no overlap, while at-risk CM allows for some overlap, which can be beneficial for fast-tracking certain parts of the project. Another critical point is who warrants the sufficiency of the construction documents. In DBB, this responsibility falls solely on the design company, with no input from construction professionals. In design build, the design build company takes on this responsibility. In contrast, CM methods, particularly agency CM and at-risk CM, involve the CM company providing input to the design documents, which can lead to more practical and constructible designs. The choice of delivery method also depends on the project's nature. DBB is generally suited for cost-driven, less complex projects like road pavements, single-family homes, or public projects. Design build works well for schedule-driven, more complex projects like oil refineries or power plants. CM methods, especially at-risk CM, are ideal for large, complex projects requiring high levels of management, like mega commercial buildings or sports complexes. Understanding these differences helps in selecting the right project delivery method based on the project's specific needs, complexity, and objectives. This comparison highlights how the choice of delivery method can significantly impact the project's timeline, cost, and overall success. So far, we have discussed the various types of project delivery methods. Now let's shift our focus to the types of contract methods. As we mentioned earlier, a contract method defines the legal agreement and relationship between 2 project participants. In this section, we will explore different contract methods. Let's discuss the lump sum contract method, which is one of the most common types of contract methods in construction management. In a lump sum contract, the contractor is provided with a clearly defined project scope by the owner. Based on this scope, the contractor provides a single fixed price to the owner before the construction begins. This fixed price is agreed upon and remains constant throughout the project unless there are any significant changes in the project scope. The contractor is paid based on the amount of construction work completed. The profitability for the contractor depends on managing the project effectively to stay within the fixed price. If the contractor completes the project for less than the fixed price, they make a profit. However, If the project costs exceed the fixed price, the contractor absorbs the additional costs, which can lead to losses. Lump sum contracts are commonly used in the design bid build (DBB) delivery method, particularly for less complex projects or projects where the scope is well understood and unlikely to change significantly. From the owner's perspective, a lump sum contract can be low risk because it offers a firm fixed price for the project. This is especially beneficial if the construction documents are accurate and complete, as it minimizes the likelihood of unexpected costs. However, the owner does not benefit from any cost savings that the contractor may achieve, as these savings are retained by the contractor. This method is a safe choice when the project scope is well defined, and there is confidence that the construction will proceed according to the established plans. However, if the project scope is likely to change, or if the documents are incomplete, this method might lead to disputes or additional costs. For the next topic, we'll be discussing the cost plus a fee contract method. Let's discuss the cost plus a fee contract method as it relates to construction management. This contract type is often referred to as cost plus time and material. In this arrangement, the contractor does not receive a clearly defined project scope from the owner. Instead, the contractor provides the owner with a proposed fee before construction begins. Throughout the project, the contractor is compensated for the actual costs incurred, plus the agreed-upon fee. A key characteristic of this contract method is that the contractor earns a profit regardless of the final project cost. This can be beneficial when the project scope is uncertain or when the work must be completed urgently, such as in disaster recovery situations where products or goods need to be manufactured quickly. However, there are significant considerations for the owner. This contract method places a high level of risk on the owner, as there is no set limit on costs. Because the contractor's payment is based on actual costs plus a fee, there is less incentive for the contractor to find cost-saving measures. Consequently, the owner must carefully weigh these factors when deciding whether to use the cost plus a fee contract method, particularly in situations where cost control is critical. Up next, we'll dive into the cost plus with guaranteed maximum price contract method. Cost plus with guaranteed. Maximum price, GMP, is a contract method where the contractor is provided with a defined project scope by the owner, but not with finished construction documents. The contractor then provides a guaranteed maximum price, GMP, to the owner. Under this arrangement, the contractor is paid for the actual costs incurred, plus a fee, but only up to the GMP. If the contractor can complete the project within the GMP, they stand to make a profit. This method is often used in design build, DB, and construction manager at risk, CMR, project delivery methods. For the owner, this contract method presents low financial risk because it sets a firm cost cap. Additionally, any cost savings achieved below the GMP benefit the owner, as there is an incentive for the contractor to minimize costs while still completing the project to the defined scope. Let's go over the concept of cost-plus contracts and how they compare with the cost-plus contracts that include a guaranteed maximum price, or GMP. In a standard cost-plus-a-fee contract, the contractor charges the actual cost of the project plus an additional fee, typically a percentage of the actual cost. For example, if the fee is 10% and the actual cost of the project is $900,000, the contractor's fee would be $90,000, resulting in a total revenue of $990,000. As the actual cost increases, both the revenue and profit for the contractor increase proportionally. Even if the project costs more than expected, the contractor continues to earn more profit because the fee is always a percentage of the total cost. Now, let's look at a cost-plus contract with a GMP. In this scenario, the contractor still charges the actual cost plus a fee, but with one key difference. The fee is capped once the actual cost reaches a predetermined maximum amount, known as the GMP. In our example, if the GMP is set at $100,000, the contractor's fee remains fixed once that limit is reached, regardless of any further increases in the actual cost. If the project's actual cost is $900,000, the contractor earns the same fee as before, $90,000, making the revenue $990,000. However, if the actual cost reaches or exceeds the GMP of $100,000, the contractor's fee doesn't increase further. In fact, if the cost exceeds the GMP, the contractor begins to lose money, as they are now covering any costs above the GMP out of their own pocket. This slide illustrates how these two contract types can lead to very different financial outcomes for the contractor, especially when actual project costs fluctuate. Now, we will move on to our next topic, the unit price contract method. The unit price contract method, which is used especially in civil engineering. Here's how it works. Under a unit price contract, the owner provides the contractor with estimated quantities for each work item. These quantities are initially based on projections and are subject to adjustment based on the actual quantities measured during the project. The contractor then offers a competitive bid by submitting unit prices for each work item. These unit prices include both direct and indirect costs, such as labor, materials, and overhead. The key characteristic of this contract type is that the contractor's profit depends on the relationship between the contract unit prices and the actual unit prices at which the work is completed. If the actual costs turn out to be lower than the contract prices, the contractor benefits and makes a profit. This contract method is particularly useful in situations where it's challenging to perform an accurate quantity takeoff before the project starts, which is why it is prevalent in civil engineering projects, where the scope can be more variable. However, it is less common in building projects, where quantities are usually more predictable. From the owner's perspective, this contract type carries a higher level of risk. There's no definitive cost limit, and the owner doesn't benefit from any potential cost savings achieved by the contractor. Instead, the owner may face increased costs if the actual quantities exceed the estimates provided at the start of the project. Now let's compare these contract methods. In this slide, we're going to compare different contract methods. Understanding these differences will help you decide which contract method is most appropriate for a given project, based on the scope, cost considerations, and payment methods. Let's start with the lump sum contract. This method is used when the project scope is well defined. The cost of the project is fixed, meaning that the price agreed upon at the beginning is what will be paid, regardless of any changes that might occur during construction. Payments are usually made progressively as the work is completed. Next, we have the cost plus a fee contract. This method is often employed when the project scope is not fully defined. The project's cost can vary depending on the scope as it evolves. Here, the payment method involves covering the actual costs incurred, plus an additional fee. This approach allows for flexibility, but can result in higher costs if the project scope expands. Another method is the cost plus with GMP. This can be used whether the project scope is defined or not. The key feature here is that there's a cap on how much the project will cost, the GMP. Payments cover the actual direct costs plus a fee, but these payments cannot exceed the GMP. This method offers both flexibility and cost control. Finally, the unit price contract is used when the quantities of work items are variable. The total project cost is determined by the actual quantities of work multiplied by the unit prices agreed upon at the outset. Payment is directly linked to the quantities of work performed, which makes it suitable for projects where the scope may vary significantly. As you can see, the choice of contract method has a significant impact on how a project is managed, its final cost, and the risk associated with the project. Understanding these differences is vital in ensuring that you select the most appropriate contract method for your specific project needs. Now let's move on to our final topic. In this section, we'll be exploring the relationship between project delivery methods and contract methods, tying together the key concepts we've discussed so far. This slide provides the relationship between different contract methods and project delivery methods, which is a critical aspect of construction management. Understanding this relationship helps to determine how responsibilities, risks, and rewards are distributed among the parties involved in a project, such as the owner, contractor, and construction manager. The slide presents a table that correlates 4 common contract methods with 4 major project delivery methods: design bid build, DBB, design build, DB, agency construction management, agency CM, and at-risk construction management, at-risk CM. The contract methods listed are lump sum, cost plus a fee, cost plus with guaranteed maximum price, GMP, and unit price. The numbers in the table indicate the frequency with which each contract method is used in the respective project delivery method. For example, in the traditional design bid build method, the lump sum contract is used very frequently, denoted by a 1, very frequently. This is because DBB often involves bidding based on a fixed price for the entire scope of work. In contrast, the unit price contract is very rarely used in this delivery method, indicated by a 4, very rarely, since DBB does not typically suit unit-based pricing. On the other hand, the design build method, which integrates design and construction under a single contract, frequently uses the lump sum and cost plus with GMP contracts. The cost plus contract with an incentive for cost savings is occasionally used, but the unit price contract is rarely applied here. In agency CM, the owner's representative manages the project, and lump sum contracts are frequently used due to the clear definition of project scope, while unit price contracts are very rarely used. At-risk CM, which involves a construction manager who takes on more risk, often uses cost plus with GMP contracts, providing the CM with incentives for cost savings. Lump sum contracts are also common, but the frequency of unit price contracts remains low. This table serves as a guide for selecting appropriate contract methods based on the chosen project delivery method, ensuring that the contract structure aligns with the project goals and the level of risk each party is willing to assume. In this module, we began by covering the basics of what project delivery and contract methods entail and why they are important in the construction industry. We explored the different phases of a project, including pre-project planning, design, procurement, construction, startup, and occupancy. 3 types of estimates were discussed: conceptual estimates, schematic estimates, and detailed estimates. We reviewed their purposes and the appropriate times to use each type. The module delved into the various project delivery methods, such as design bid build, and construction management, and compared these methods to highlight their differences. We also examined different types of contract methods, including lump sum, cost plus a fee, cost plus time and material, cost plus with guaranteed maximum price, GMP, and unit price. The focus was on understanding the distinctions between these methods. Finally, the module looked at how project delivery methods align with contract methods and how to choose the appropriate combination depending on the project requirements. This module provided a comprehensive overview of these concepts, which are foundational to managing construction projects effectively.